Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope you all are fit and studying at home. Now, in the previous class, we have studied about Greenland, the land of ice and snow. And now we have reached to our chapter number 7, and its name is Saudi Arabia, the land of hot sand. So now earlier we have studied about Greenland, land of ice and snow, and now we have reached to a chapter in which we are going to study about the deserts. So now let's start a chapter. So now children, let's first see what we are going to learn in this chapter. So let's read it out first. The land and climate of Saudi Arabia we will learn. Its vegetation and crops we will learn. And then we will learn about its people and religious importance of Saudi Arabia. So all these points we are going to cover in our chapter Saudi Arabia, the land of hot sands. So now let's start. So now let's read it out first. Saudi Arabia is a large country situated in the Arabian Peninsula. So Saudi Arabia is a large country and it is situated in Arabian Peninsula. Peninsula you have already studied in your class 4th. Now what is peninsula? A peninsula is a piece of land jutting out into the sea. So what is a peninsula? A peninsula is a piece of land jutting out into the sea. It is surrounded by water on 3 sides. So it is surrounded by water. Now let's see next. Now here you can see in this map, this is a map of the world. In this you can see there is Saudi Arabia with this red color. So this red color is showing us Saudi Arabia and it is a peninsula. You can see over there it is surrounded by 3 water bodies. Now let's see next children. Now let's read it out some more points about Saudi Arabia. The Arabian Peninsula is the largest peninsula in the world. So why we are studying Arabian Peninsula? Because it is the world largest peninsula. So that is why we are studying about it. It lies between the Red Sea on the west and the Persian Gulf on the east. So it lies between the Red Sea and Persian Gulf on the east. So what do you understand by Persian? Persian means related to Iran or its people or language. So that is Persian, and Gulf you have already studied in your class 4th. So let's just revise once again. Gulf is a deep inlet of the sea almost surrounded by land with a narrow mouth. So that is called Gulf, and this you have already studied in your class 4th. So the capital of Saudi Arabia is Riyadh. Now let's see next. So now here you can see this is a picture of Saudi Arabia. Over here we can clearly see that it is a peninsula, and we can see over here it is surrounded by water from 3 sides. This is 1, then 2 and then 3. So from 3 sides it is surrounded by water. Over here you can see this Tropic of Cancer is passing from Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next children. Now we'll understand about the land of Saudi Arabia. So now let's read it out. Most of Saudi Arabia is a high rocky plateau covered by a vast desert. So most of the Saudi Arabia is high rocky plateau covered by vast desert. So plateau also you have studied in your class 3rd, 4th. So now let's just revise. What is plateau? A plateau is a raised area of land that is flat from top. So we can take an example of table. So this is plateau. So most of Saudi Arabia is a high rocky plateau covered by vast desert. The desert is covered with small hills of sand called sand dunes. So the desert is covered with small hills of sand called sand dunes. Now what is dunes? A small hill formed by the wind usually in desert. So what is dunes now? We have understood that it is a small hill of sand and it is formed by the wind. As the wind flows, it forms more and more sand dunes. Next, strong winds and dust storm keep blowing and shifting these sand dunes from one place to another because they are formed by the wind. So when strong wind blows, that time it shift the sand dunes from one place to another. Now let's see next. Now here children, you can see these are sand dunes in the Arabian desert. Here you can see sand dunes and these are formed by wind. Now let's see next. Now let's talk about the water in Saudi Arabia. There are no lakes and no rivers in this land because it is a desert. So Oasis also you have studied in your class 3rd, 4th that underground water comes to the surface forming fertile area. Somewhere in the desert, underground water comes up to the surface and they form fertile area. So this is called oasis. Now let's see next. So here is the picture of oasis. Oasis where the underground water comes up to the surface. Now let's see next. Now we'll understand the climate of Saudi Arabia. So let's read it out. So the Tropic of Cancer is passing through the middle of Saudi Arabia. I have showed you earlier on the map of Saudi Arabia, and here also you can see this is the world map, and over here you can see Tropic of Cancer is passing from the middle of Saudi Arabia. And here also again you see in this map, here also Tropic of Cancer is passing from middle of Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. Now let's read it out some more points about the climate of Saudi Arabia. The climate of Saudi Arabia is hot and dry. So because Saudi Arabia is a desert, so that is why the climate in Saudi Arabia is hot and dry. Next, let's read. The country gets very little rainfall, the humidity is very low, and the sun shines bright and hot throughout the year. So the country, because it is a desert, so that is why it gets very little rainfall and humidity is also low, and the sun shines bright and hot throughout the year. In climate chapter we have already studied that if the country gets or if the place gets less or very little rainfall and humidity is also very low and the sun shines bright and hot throughout the year, so these are the conditions in which deserts are formed. So because of this, Saudi Arabia is a desert. Now let's see next. So here in this picture you can see the sun shines bright and hot throughout the year. So that is why here everywhere you can see it is a desert. Now let's see next. And now let's understand the climate of desert at night. So let's first read it out. The nights are cool as the sand in the desert cools down quickly at night. During winter, the nights are very cold. So daytime the sun shines bright and the nights are cool as the sand in the deserts cools down quickly at night. And during winter, the nights are very cold. And here in this picture, you can see this is the night time in the desert. So this is the climate of Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. Now let's understand the vegetation and agriculture of Saudi Arabia. So we all know when the area is not receiving rainfall and humidity is also very low, so very few plants will grow in that area. So the same happens with Saudi Arabia. Very few plants can grow in a desert climate. So cacti and some short shrubs which can withstand the hot and dry conditions can be seen growing in the desert region of Saudi Arabia. And in the previous chapter I have explained you the meaning of withstand. Withstand means unaffected. So only those plants which are unaffected by the hot and dry conditions, they can be seen growing in the desert region of Saudi Arabia. Now let's see cacti and some other plants which are grown in Saudi Arabia. So here you can see this is the picture of cacti, and here you can see some short shrubs withstand in the condition of Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. So only Oasis is the place where there is water in the desert. So date palm and some crops as wheat and barley are grown in the Oasis. So here in this picture you can see these are date palm. Now let's see next. And here children you can see the picture of wheat which is grown in the Oasis, and next we'll see the picture of barley. So here you can see these are barley. Now let's see next. Now this picture you can see over here, this picture is also given in your book in chapter number 7. Now let's read out the information related to this picture. The AlHasan is the largest oasis in Saudi Arabia. So this is an oasis and it is the largest oasis in Saudi Arabia and its name is AlHasan. Now let's see next. So did you know is given in your chapter number 7, Saudi Arabia is the second largest producer of petroleum after Russia. So Russia is first largest producer of petroleum and Saudi Arabia is the second largest producer of petroleum. Saudi Arabia exports most of its petroleum in the world. So that is why it is the biggest exporter of petroleum. The petroleum production of Saudi Arabia is about 11 times that of India. That means in Saudi Arabia, petroleum is produced 11 times more than India. So that is why it is the second largest producer of petroleum. Now let's see next. So now let's read out the information related to this picture. Drilling for petroleum in Saudi Arabia. So here you can see what is going on. So here drilling for petroleum is going on. They are drilling petroleum from the desert. Now let's see next. Now we'll understand the life of people in Saudi Arabia because they are the largest exporter of petroleum. So that is why Saudi Arabia is a very rich country because they are the exporter of petroleum. That is why they are very rich. So there are two modern cities, one is Riyadh and one is Jeddah. So the money which is earned by selling petroleum to other countries, that is used to build modern cities. So when the country is earning money by selling petroleum, they are building modern cities such as Riyadh and Jeddah. Now let's see next. So here you can see where is Riyadh and where is Jeddah. So here is Jeddah and here is Riyadh. So both of these cities are the modern cities of Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. One more picture you can see how modern Riyadh and Jeddah is. This is Riyadh in the first picture and in the second picture, this is Jeddah. So these both are the modern cities of Saudi Arabia. Now let's read out some more points related to Saudi Arabia. The people have modern facilities and the standard of living is quite high. So the people have modern facilities and the standard of living is quite high. A large number of Indians work in Saudi Arabia. So even you have heard and we all know that a large number of Indians work in Saudi Arabia. So here in this picture you can see these are the modern facilities in Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. So here some more information. Let's read it out. Though the cities are modern, the society in Saudi Arabia is very traditional. So the cities are modern, they are having modern facilities, but the society in Saudi Arabia is very traditional. So the country is ruled by the king and here you can see he is the king of Saudi Arabia. Like in the olden days, the king and queens used to rule. In the same way, Saudi Arabia is still ruled by the king. Now let's see next. Now the information is given about women of Saudi Arabia. The ladies, they cover their head and body in black dress that leaves only their eyes exposed. So this you have seen in a city and that is called abaya and it is compulsory for the ladies in Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. So here you can see this is the picture of women in Saudi Arabia, and you can see clearly in this picture that their eyes are exposed and whole body from their head is covered with the black dress. And here you can see in this picture, women are not allowed to drive cars. So this is the traditional society of Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next, children. So here is the dress of men and boys in Saudi Arabia. So here you can see in this picture, most men and boys wear this traditional loose fitting white robes called thobe. Now what is robe? A long, loose or flowing gown or outer garment, an official vestment. So that is called robe. And here you can see their head is covered with white cloth, and that is held in place by the ring. So here you can see on their head, this is a white cloth and it is held in a place with the help of a ring. So this is the dress of men and boys in Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. You know, children, traditionally the people of Saudi Arabia were nomads, moving from one place to another. Even today, most of the people follow this lifestyle and they are called Bedouin. So these are the people who keeps on moving from one place to another. In our previous chapters also we have studied that pygmies used to move from one place to another. In a previous chapter, Greenland, we have studied that Inuits used to move from one place to another. And here, Bedouins, they also used to move from one place to another. And the main occupation of Bedouins are rearing cattle. They move from place to place in search of pastures for their flocks of goats, sheep and camel. So why they move from one place to another? They are moving from one place to another in search of pastures for their cattle. So now children, what is pastures? Pastures is a land covered with grass and other low plants suitable for grazing animals. So this is called pastures, and in search of pastures, the Bedouins, they keeps on moving. So here in this picture you can see these are Bedouins and they are moving from one place to another. And now let's see some more picture. Here you can see these are sheeps and they are reared by the Bedouin. And here you can see this is flocks of goats and this also reared by the Bedouins. And now here you can see the picture of camels. So rearing of animals is the main occupation of Bedouins. Now let's see next. Now children, how the Bedouins they live. So they live in tents, and these tents are made up of animal skin. So these people, they sell animals and their products in marketplaces in villages, and they buy food grains, dates and other things. So this is the lifestyle of Bedouins in Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. So here you can see the picture of dates. Now let's see next. So the lifestyle of Bedouins is also changing now. And more of them, they are started settling down in one place. And nowadays they are using jeeps and cars to move around. So the life of the Bedouins are changed now. Nowadays they are started settling, and even to move around they are using cars and jeep. So this is the family of a Bedouin and they are inside their tent, and this picture is also given in your book in chapter number 7. Now let's see next. So here you can see how the Bedouins are now changed and now they are using jeeps and cars to move around. So now we'll talk about the industry of Saudi Arabia. So now let's read it out. Several large industries have been set up in Saudi Arabia using the money earned by selling petroleum. So several large industries have been set up in Saudi Arabia, and how they are set up? By using the money earned by petroleum. So because they are having a large deposit of petroleum, so that is why they sell petroleum and then they earn money, and then they develop their cities, and also they set up industries in their country. Now let's see next. Now we'll see the industries of Saudi Arabia. So some of the industries in Saudi Arabia are petroleum, refining, iron and steel. So these are the industries in Saudi Arabia. So here in this picture also you can see this is petroleum refining, this is iron and steel industry. So these are the industries in Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. So here there are some more industries in Saudi Arabia. They are cement and fertilizer industries. So these are also some more industries in Saudi Arabia. And these industries also increased the prosperity and the wealth of people in Saudi Arabia. So now let's see next, children. So now children, let's understand about the religious importance in Saudi Arabia. The religion Islam was founded in Saudi Arabia by Prophet Muhammad. So the religion in Saudi Arabia is Islam, and it was founded by Prophet Muhammad. Millions of Muslims from all over the world come to Mecca, the most important pilgrim center of the Muslim. So millions of Muslims from all over the world come to Mecca. Why? Because it is the most important pilgrim center of the Muslims. Medina is another important religious center here, and Medina is also an important religious center here. After Makkah, then there is one more religious center, and that is Medina. So you also must have heard that Makkah and Medina is the important pilgrim center of the Muslim. Now let's see next. So here you can see this is the picture of Makkah, and millions of people, they come to Makkah. And now in the next picture we'll see the picture of Medina. So here in this picture you can see there again, you can see over here there are so many people, and this is Medina, also an important religious center of the Muslims. Now let's see next. So in this picture you can see how beautiful is Saudi Arabia, and that is why Saudi Arabia is an excellent example of a hot and barren desert being changed into a rich and prosperous land. So this is how they have changed their desert into a prosperous land. So how a barren desert is changed into a rich and prosperous land? So the government of Saudi Arabia used their natural resources found in the country very intelligently to benefit the people. So this is how the barren desert is changed into a rich and prosperous land. So here also in this picture you can see no one can say that this is a hot and barren desert. So clearly we can see that it is a rich and prosperous land. Now let's see next, children. So here one did you know is given, and this did you know you will see in your chapter number 7. Now let's read it out. Saudi Arabia is an Islamic state. So Saudi Arabia is an Islamic state. That means its official religion is Islam. So Saudi Arabia is an Islamic state, and that means its official religion is Islam. This is different from India, which is a secular state. So Saudi Arabia is different from India because India is a secular state. So now what is the meaning of secular? There is no official religion in India. We all have different religion and we all follow different religion. There is no official religion in India like in Saudi Arabia where Islam is the official religion. So in India, every citizen is free to follow whatever religion he or she chooses. So this is the difference between India and Saudi Arabia. India is a secular state. Now let's see next, children. So review time, we have reached to the end of the chapter. So now let's revise what we have studied. We have studied about the location of Saudi Arabia. Then we have studied the land of Saudi Arabia. And then we have studied climate of Saudi Arabia. After that we have studied vegetation and agriculture of Saudi Arabia. Then the people, you have seen the dresses of women and men of Saudi Arabia. Then we have seen the industries and then the religious importance of Saudi Arabia. So all this we have seen and we have studied about Saudi Arabia. Now let's see next. So homework time, children. Now what is your homework for today? What is done? Name two modern cities of Saudi Arabia. Which country is the largest producer of petroleum in the world? Learn and write question and answers of Saudi Arabia in your rough copy, revision copy or in your homework copy. So this is your homework for today. Now let's see next. So now it's the time for me to leave, children. I hope you have understood this chapter and why Saudi Arabia is a rich country. So all these answers now you got and I hope you understood everything. Now I'll meet you in a next class with a new chapter. Till then, take care of yourself and study well.